Call the meeting to order. Please rise to the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I just want to thank everyone for coming to the meeting tonight. Taking account of the meeting is basically a forum that we can have a discussion on how various communities interact with each other, and also how they can improve cooperation and communication between themselves and the board as well. So we appreciate any feedback provided in that manner to assist us in going forward, having a great relationship with all the committees. There's a few topics for discussion here that were listed as agenda, but that said, any ideas, suggestions, ideas that you have to improve your committee's relationships with other committees, any suggestions you have with the function of your committee that can be improved as far as the resolution itself, if there's any changes. In fact, Marty Clark just walked in from the bylaws committee. It would be someone that would help us in that regard. Any changes to the resolution. And any other suggestions or concerns which could help the committee and also the board of directors improve that communication. I'm hoping that it's a relaxed meeting. We exchange ideas back and forth. Problems that you see, if there are any, please let us know. We can correct them and keep forward great relations. So, with that, I would like you just to introduce yourselves by name and which committee, in case somebody does not know that. Well, just go around and name and which committee you represent.
Jennifer Bryan, Communications.
Michelle.
All of them.
Ken Wolf, Environmental Natural Assets Advisory Committee.
Les Purcell, the Club's Advisory Committee.
Steve Tuttle, Elections Committee.
Tim McMullen, Rex Parks.
John Viola, Budget and Finance.
Frank Daly, Comprehensive Plan.
Jude Freeman, RSAC.
Dave Steve, Director.
Sloan Bender. Tom Harris. Marty Clark. And bylaws and resolutions. Okay. First topic that I want to talk about, the first item was the Executive Advisory Council last month, because they based on feedback tonight. You may have some feedback on how we can improve the council meeting itself. So as far as communications, I mean, your communications, that's phenomenal. That not only communications with various committees, but I can see how the committees themselves can go to your committee to promote what they're doing.
I think that's true. I don't think it happens currently, at least in my experience with. That's kind of one of the things my committee talked about for years now. What can we do to even know how to help? And we had a couple of ideas ourselves. One of which was sort of having one of these type of roundtable things a little more often. But in a year and a half after doing this, we had one, and we had not a lot of, it was not well attended. So I feel like progress was made there. So I think maybe just having it function as it's supposed to might be half the battle. But the other thing that, from our perspective, is we really thought it was helpful to have a staff liaison. And I don't know, I know a lot of committees do have staff attend their meetings, but from our perspective, it would be very helpful to know what the staff battles in terms of communication, in terms of helping the committees. Because a lot of times we just don't know who's on first. So we've been trying to figure that out.
As far as other committees like Parks and Rec programs or Golf Advisory Committee, you can offer to them how you promote that publication.
I think that's what we have to do, is reach out.
or they reach out to you to get their agenda or what they want to promote out to the public.
I almost wondered if it would be helpful for each committee to have a communications committee person to contact, whether it's, there are however many committees there are, everybody has someone they can call and say, this is what we're doing. I don't know.
Anybody from like Tim, would that be something that your committee could use?
Yes, definitely.
Contact Jenny and say, listen, we got this program going on. Can we help promote it in newsletters or newspapers or radio or whatever?
We used to send flyers home to students, elementary, middle schools, education. Lost what we thought was a pretty effective way to use the students and parents. That would help us.
Well, I think social media is the way to tackle that these days. Well, but if you're trying to reach the kids and the parents of kids, that's where you'll find them, I think.
Yeah, there are a lot of apps, smartphone apps for sure, and kids are so savvy with technology now. It's one way to improve that kind of a broadcasting is to look at smart apps. Easy to target youth.
Creating events on Facebook.
Yeah, but they are, literally, they do have their Facebook account on their smartphones and instantly accessible. They are really 24/7 showing up.
Ask a question. I'm curious because I'm new to the whole homeowners association ballgame. I didn't even know really what your committee does in terms of communication versus what Teresa does on behalf of the whole agency.
It is important, and that's why we thought, from my perspective, it would be so helpful to have a staff liaison or sit with us or give us some type of report so we know how we could help.
What kind of communication are we really talking about here? Are we talking about communication to the public, press? Are we talking to each other? What are we talking about?
We are talking more to each other and to the board of directors and to the members. I'll read you what it says. Advise the board of directors and the general manager in facilitating the exchange of information about all areas of association activities with and between the membership. Which could be a lot of things and nothing at all. You know what I mean?
Listen, the rest of it was action briefs. I've heard people when I was on the board, well, we don't know what to do. Page 4.
Well, and there's very specific instructions.
It is. My comment was more that in Ocean Pines, anybody that's been here more than less a little, there's just no memory. And I just heard what you just said, and I was like, what? I mean, you had a staff liaison attending every meeting. I'm going back. Right. I mean, Teresa attended, or if Teresa didn't attend, Sonia attended 50, 70% of the meetings. And when we talk about interchange, it was a thing that we did, probably going back 10 years now, but every committee at a meeting, I don't know how we did it. I mean, I wasn't a committee member. They'd flip a coin or pull a straw. Somebody loses, and that person went to another advisory. And when you started doing this on a...
So attending other committees.
Yeah, but not everybody.
Right.
You drew straws. Oh, God, I lost. I got to get a budget and finance. But you would go, and you would attend their meeting, and they would introduce you, and it opened up a lot of communications, because people would go, well, what does your committee do? And we did that, you remember?
Yes.
I mean, it was not easy, but we did it.
Well, that's why we kind of thought, well, we don't know. We're all new. Like, except for the exception of maybe Bernie. We're just kind of starving for some help,
The meetings here, I think. Well, that's what I mean. Here's a great resource that the other committees can use. There's something going on, a program or something, you could reach out to them and say, hey, get this word out for us. I mean, that's something to promote your own committee. And it could be for almost all elections as well. On the yacht club, I mean, that they started putting some ads like got it promotion. I mean, that's something that people realize. Maybe
the newsletter.
Maybe you need a bigger budget. Maybe you need more budget.
Well, you know, as I was sitting and kind of preparing for this, I was rereading it myself, and one of the things on our function is to advise on communications for upcoming budget years. And when we did our annual report, we thought of it in terms of what does the communications committee. When I read this, I think it sounds like communications committee should be advising for needs of the upcoming budget year, like in terms of communication to membership as well. Right. So I think that there's a lot of rethinking in how what's reading perhaps is half battle.
Marty, who's composing the Green Street article in the newsletter now? I know
that's your committee.
I know it is. That's why I'm asking you. Because Barbara used to do it. Is Teresa doing it now?
Let's hope not.
Okay.
It's going to be a real short one next month.
But that's something that we have an ongoing need for, to have an environmental article in the newsletter. It was the Green Street, and we would do that on recycling or, a host of properties.
It's amazing. I mean, I'm sitting here and the camera almost hit it. Why couldn't our committee, your committee, by the way, I have the misfortune of also doing this committee, go to the communications and say, we have this problem.
Sure, that's what I'm thinking of. I wanted to find the genesis of what's being done already with the Green Street article.
We've been, better than I, had Barbara.
Yeah.
And Barbara, you didn't have to ask.
Yes, I know.
Deadline was here. So did anybody think about that? Barbara,
yeah. I mean, we'd have an ongoing need for that. For somebody, we'd have a topic, we could give you information on sources, and somebody to publish, to compose for every newsletter, the Green Street article, about environmental issues in the community. I mean, it could take, several different, could be several different approaches, but the one that's basically been is not a reporting on what the committee's doing or anything that mundane, but actually something that we want to, bring the community's attention to, so it's kind of fully fleshed out piece.
Well, there's several different ways of looking at communication, and I don't know whether the invitation email that I got was specific to our committee or whether it was just a general thing. But there's a line in it that rebukes people from going directly to board members and the general manager with, instead of going through the liaison, they have something they want to put out. However, I just wanted to remind you that Resolution CO12 states that chairpersons are in no way prohibited from direct communication.
To the president.
To the president.
That's
right. Okay.
If they deem necessary.
Yes.
Deem necessary to go to the president. Yes. But there's a liaison that should be admin.
Oh, I agree, and it should be used, and that's what it's about. But
right.
But sometimes I bump into you at the yacht club. I might have something to say, and I will.
Please don't.
I had a tough Friday night. I think you've been warned.
Just to finish up on our little piece, could you run that down and find out on Green Street what's the genesis of that now? Who's doing that? Who is coming up with that material? Well, I just want to see if there's any path before we step on anybody's toes.
I'm not allowed to talk to Michelle.
And can I ask Teresa if might be good?
Depends, no. She's no longer.
She is. Oh, she's totally gone?
She's here till November 30th.
Well, I think that we should probably have a lot of questions answered before November 30th.
I can't answer that question, but I was told I wasn't allowed to talk to her.
Well,
you cannot fire.
That was just a personal thing.
It was fire. It was a fire.
Decent people are allowed to.
You can ask me for information, you just can't direct
them. So,
you can't direct them to do something.
For example, I guess in terms of my patients, did all the stuff with health fair.
Sonia, they were there. They did the work. That's where we had that discussion. Where I didn't direct anybody to do it. They called me up and said, "Do you want me to post this?" Yes. Now that's not direct.
No, not at all.
Good. I'm glad you.
Yeah. I'll see what I can find out.
Okay, great. Thanks.
The point is, the communications committee is all the other committees, and there's no reason not to. They can help tremendously.
Yeah.
Every one of us.
How many guys have? That's a big committee.
Well, it says no less than 7 enrolls.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't make them up, I promise.
That's a lot of committees on that.
Well, these are all the people now. That's including.
You know what I do want to hand this out? There's a contact for every committee.
This isn't including me. So 7.
Every committee chair is on there, and
Ours
for them.
Ours says not less than 3, no more than 9.
Yep. Yes, I do. And Careers and Architect. Karen is retired IT. Ginger is the officer of the campus.
That Ginger?
Yeah. It's funny. To talk about a communicator, though.
That's not. Where's it going?
No, I mean, this is a really good help people here.
Yeah.
Spelling of my name and my email address is wrong. There's no E at the end of Ken Wolf. And instead of cable speed, it's at Gmail.
It's changed on
Mine changed on that.
Yeah, that's right.
Many as well, they open book surveys.
I know, I read that, but I personally have not been involved. I know there's a current survey.
That's what I was going to ask you. Would you be able to help the company?
Absolutely, and I think at the very least, Elaine plans to attend or something, right?
This week, Thursday.
Yeah, I think that Elaine at the very least was planning on attending.
Right, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's what I'm like.
And we sent that survey out to, at least it's on. I think it's on the website, but Elaine sent it to us, and we've all seen it now. So.
Okay, good. Thanks. Anyone else on how we can improve internal or external communications, whether with the board or with the various committees?
I have a question.
Sure.
You say you need I get the impression, for staff liaison.
I think.
No, that was your request. That you thought it would be.
And always did have.
Yeah, I just think it would be most helpful for someone who's in on the day-to-day to be able to say to us, these are the things, this is what people are asking us about right now, or we've had this suggestion, or we can't figure out who to go to for this, or, just...
Does the liaison help you at all? The board liaison in the past?
I'm not talking about the board liaison.
I'm talking about a staff liaison.
No, but I'm saying, with this board liaison be able to get information that...
Perhaps, but we're looking, at least for the way that I interpreted our conversation about it was more the day-to-day kind of stuff. If we're going to help communicate between members and the board, and if we just don't know the day-to-day. For example, here's an example, and you were at our meeting when Bernie used this as an example, not having the promotional materials like maps like this and things that are in the lobby. I think the communications committee had a lot to do helping to develop those types of items because someone from the staff said people are looking for this. So they developed some sort of materials and working together.
Young.
Really?
They were, I mean, back
before. Right. But so anyway, those are the types of things that we thought would be helpful to know that we might not find out on our own, unless we maybe did a survey. You can only do so many.
So I guess it's two things. One thing is that it's kind of your committee's job to ferret out what information people need. In other words, what they don't have and they want.
That's my interpretation.
And then on the other side of it, the staff probably would tell you what are the mechanisms for providing that. It's a pretty good list. I mean, we have our e-blast. We have a web page. We have a portal report.
And now you have all the social media.
Well, do we have social media?
Sure. And Teresa, I think, is the one that posts all of that stuff, which is one of the things I just wrote down on my list. Somebody needs to Facebook.
Yeah, and of course
there's
you have
all
the
different
brochures.
ones. Like Colby does aquatics.
There's
Colby does aquatics. And there's recreation and parks that post
You all
stuff.
Facebook?
Pardon me?
You guys go on Facebook?
No, I'm a retired teacher. Facebook's never part of our agenda.
No, I mean committee.
Pardon me?
Committee, do they post on?
But somebody must, I think. But there's a Parks and Rec.
They
I
have
think
to-
Teresa
yeah,
must
I've
do
never
it.
seen
Teresa
our
or Sonia
Facebook.
may have, but I'm telling as far as our committee, we have no problem with Facebook.
Natalie Changeland was doing it for Parks and Rec for Facebook. I know.
Who was?
Natalie Changeland, and Natalie CHANGLIN. That's who I always sent my stuff to that went to Facebook.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So, I mean, kind of one of the things your committee would be involved in is getting the need and matching that up to the mechanisms that we have available or need. Maybe you don't have.
And maybe just getting a handful.
And you're sort of like the cop for communications, like this to this.
But the communicate, whoever does communications, whoever does marketing in the future, it would be nice for there to be a nice
Relationship.
Absolutely.
And used to be. Can I ask you a question, Tim? Sure. When you guys have meetings, do you have a staff liaison?
Yes. In fact, Mr. Herrick has been to 2 of our meetings.
Not a board.
No, sir.
Staff.
Yeah.
See, when I was on Parks and Rec 20 years ago, we had 2. The little girl's still here. I can't think of her name. She's on the
Katie.
committee.
Katie's.
Doesn't matter. She's still here. She works here. And
Mr. Clark.
and who was it? Rec Mike Howe attended every
Okay,
meeting.
Sonia attended every of our meetings.
Oh, that's what I mean.
Yes.
Okay, that's okay. So you do have a staff.
Right, and her and I would meet separately for our meetings. We'd work together on an agenda, and then she would run part of our meeting, updating us with different projects.
That's the way it was.
And that's how
it was
could
very
be productive.
See, I thought everybody did except for me.
We don't up there. Do that.
But you did. And when I was on the committee yesterday, Teresa or Sonia attended them.
Well, I think there might be a story there. But
I'm
it
sure
was
there is.
not, I don't have anything to do with it. So I'm just telling you where it is
What do you
today.
think the story is while we're digging?
Nah,
Nope. Yeah, I don't know.
not my story to tell.
I think basically what this points to is really a lack of
Communication.
well, a lack of but it's also a lack of identifying staff zone general policy of Resolution C01. And obviously, this is becoming identified as a clear need and a benefit for communities to have a dedicated staff zone. Attend the meetings on a regular basis, but also be available to interact on as needed basis. And I think this kind of brings up another challenge because you kind of have a board liaison as a
what?
Liaison. That's all right. It's my French. That's supposed to be that channel between the board and the committee and the association. The only thing that the CO1 really identifies is that the president and the GM should appoint administrative assistants on as-needed basis, but really nothing more than that. So if everybody is in agreement that having a dedicated staff for each committee, then I think CO1 really needs to be updated.
I mean, are you thinking of somebody that's going to come to every meeting?
Well,
or give some type of report.
Or at least, be able to.
I would hate to, it's the way I look at it is we requested it, and, our board liaison thought it made sense for a specific meeting, but I'd hate to waste our people's time on coming there. And then there's always the other problem of, the implied who's giving them orders. You know what I mean? If they're attending there, it's a little too cozy for me. And you kind of start breaking down the chain of command. So it would really be I would think a rational approach would be is if the committee, speaking through the chairman, and the liaison agreed that someone should attend a specific meeting, then there would be a request and we would hope, I think you make an excellent point, that would be heard, because we're not going to be abusing the resource. You know what I mean? That would be given some credence. But you've got then, the liaison as a check and balance also. Because I just think, it would be nice to have somebody there, but I don't want to burn people's time when they're doing stuff a lot more productive, especially, management, which you're paying big bucks for in most cases.
Can I counter that being English time? If it's not important enough to pay, or for the attendance of a paid staff member, then I quit. Because I think my time's valuable.
Well,
you drive from Annapolis, Maryland to attend a meeting, and then drive home, and you don't think we can't ask somebody from Public Works to sit in on the meeting for an hour and a half?
I think it's unbusinesslike to me. It's a waste of the resource. I would not want to be calling people in. When I think that I can do that it's important, then I'll speak up. I'm not going to hesitate. But I just don't want somebody there every meeting.
How many times have I go over and sit down at Public Works?
Well, I've done that too.
I know, that's not what we're supposed to. That's what I just got my hand whacked. We're supposed to have them get them to come to the meeting and be involved.
I think it prevents a duplication of effort as
well. I do too.
Because
I think it's way more business-like.
I think this is an interesting conversation because it kind of identifies two different sides of the story. On one hand, you have Tim and Sonia that attended their committee meetings on a frequent basis, and then you have other committees, of course, that don't necessarily feel there's a need for that kind of a regular presence. I'm thinking from my perspective as a liaison to my committees, if you start from beginning of the year, fiscal year, and the board is supposed to communicate to the committees what perhaps is the directive or the focus for the year. If the board provides that kind of a guidance to the committee, and you have the supporting information that you need in order to execute, to deliver, there should be very little monthly or frequent staff interaction because you're already given everything you need in order to be successful with your annual goals. And if you haven't been given that information, then it needs to be provided. So it's kind of back to that issue of communications. I mean, I would be very interested to know, your individual views as to whether you really have been given a clear goal and objectives for this year from the board or years in the past. Has that worked well?
The liaison's not supposed to direct the committee's activity.
No, I said the board.
I'm saying the board liaison. The board liaison is not to direct the committee's activity. The committee is supposed to bring it to the board. See, the annual report. The committee advises the board of what they think would be beneficial for that area of expertise. So, just to have a director as a liaison in there directing them in a certain direction is really not helping that committee. The committee is the one that should be advising the board of what's important based on their experience and expertise in that field. And I think that they should be able to have that ability to do so, what they think is best. See, they're to advise the board, and that's really what the committee is for. That's the way the resolutions are. Board advisory committees. They're not to advise the department heads on what to do. They're to advise the board as far as policy.
A slow bit on that, though. The board as a whole, right. And that really doesn't happen, except in general. It's embedded in the resolution. I'd be curious to know. Okay, some people think a staff liaison support. I'd ask what for. I mean, what do you expect, gain from or to get out of it? How would you use the staff?
Take a quick shot at where Ken kicks.
I think in turn for the
that was my new name.
Who would be the first one?
I want to ask Jim about finance.
Marty.
I'm sorry,
John,
did I interrupt?
John. You did.
Marty, John.
It's John.
John, do you still have it? I never went to a budget and finance.
Yeah.
Art Carmine wasn't there.
Yeah, actually, I actually wanted to give an example of what happens in budget finance. Exactly right. Mark Palm, I know. Staff liaison, he's there at every meeting.
Yeah.
I check with him before to see when he's available, if it's a good time. At the beginning of our meeting, the end, he knows what the meeting is. If he is busy, which hasn't happened, I told him I would email him questions. He's always there. Maybe it takes 15, 20 minutes, but he's key to answering the questions because one of our main responsibilities is to thoroughly review the statements as we and I talked about. And we have our questions all ready for him. He comes in, and it's very methodical. Last 15 minutes, and
That's a case where you have a specific need, and for
that's
your
right.
committee function, you must have that information. It's fairly technical, not general, not opinion or anything like that. Very, very specific. I don't know that runs across the board.
But he's asking what was on.
Yeah,
the
but I think that's
it's very.
You were going to say something?
Yeah, well, at least for elections, I don't think we would need a staff person at every meeting, but there are certain times when we need to know about printing contracts, we need to know about how you scan the ballot. There are certain things at the election where we're conducting the election that we need some staff support. I need to know who we can talk to, how we go through that whole process.
Again, very specific.
Very
technical,
specific, exactly.
There are those, I'm sure. There's two. I'm not sure those are. In terms of the direction, does everybody understand that a staff person can't give direction, or nor should it be solicited by a committee?
I do. I do too. I want to share with you our minutes from the fall. And I worked with Sonia on this, and I think, Tom, you would agree our meetings were pretty effective. We had to deal with the White Horse Park restaurant facilities. We had to deal with the community center, brand new gym. We had to do Hunting Park, multi-purpose fields, playground. I won't where we had to deal with Mac Meadows because everybody must be here at a decent time. So these are items that we continue every month. We need progress reports because here are our bylaws for our committee, Resolution C13. without the input of the Recs and Parks person, my committee's really, we're lost.
So there
I
again,
have to have
you're looking for information, and the information has to be timely because it's time sensitive.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
And it's also reasonably detailed. I mean, I don't get enough.
Right.
It's reasonably detailed. There's 3 examples. But again, understanding that the liaison, staff liaison, is not there to tell you, how to manage the meeting or how to
She
do
never
everything.
did that. That was never a problem.
Right, we understand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
It's one in
expectation.
which
So
anything.
so they're there to provide information, which would be impossible probably to get. Probably couldn't get it more. I mean, in some cases. Oh, don't laugh. I mean, that's not it.
The committee's going to more formal report.
No, I mean, but those are cases where I think if you ask yourself those questions, if you meet those standards, then
Kathy Grimes, Aquatics.
And my deepest apologies for walking late tonight.
That's fine.
I like the board liaison very much. I think that it brings some continuity to us in terms of working forward. That the liaison can go back and say, well, the aquatics committee did, this is what I heard. I just think communication is, I could be wrong, but I just think it makes the communication better for everybody. And in fact, sitting here with the other chairmen, they're probably going to hang me. I don't think it's a bad idea to get us together sometimes. And I've never met these folks. They haven't seen me. And just say what went on. And I know we can read minutes and all of that, but I think it's nice to get to know the other chairmen and what we're doing out there in the community. And I know aquatics has been very busy in the last year. We had sports tour, we had Mumfords, we had swim and racket and yacht club, but we continue to have Mumford and swim and racket on our list that we've taken care of this year. But I think it's nice because if somebody were to ask, you hear it from the horse's mouth as to, what are you all doing? Well, why are you doing it this way? That's not my take, but I like what he is on it. It's a great asset to us.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you also have a staff liaison every meeting, right?
Staff, that's
Colby.
Yes, I have Colby. Yeah,
I-
I just consider her part of my
Every
committee.
committee,
Yes.
except for the one that doesn't, gets a staff.
Yes.
but that is an important thing. It's not part of your thing. And I mean, she can be friendly, she can help, but I mean, she's a source of information
Yes.
specifically. And when part of your committee means that she's directing, advising, or however you want to put it, she doesn't vote.
She's learned a lot. She's learned a lot from coming and being involved in meetings.
That's very, very well.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not, unalterably opposed to it. I just want to, do what's efficient. Would it help us to, to have Eddie there every meeting so we could influence him, probably unduly? I just think of things like, his spraying of the Phragmites, which I think gets, more lip service than actually spraying. I mean, there's some things, that could work, but I just can't see that we need him for every meeting. That's the thing.
It's accessibility. Would that be?
Yeah. I mean, we've had him, plenty of times at meetings.
Okay, so you can call him up.
Yeah. And we'll go up and meet with him, or, we'll talk to him in email. We have regular ongoing conversation.
No, you can't get a phone and call it. That's what.
Well, I do.
I know you do.
Yeah.
You can provide it to him.
Information you can.
I don't tell him ever to do anything.
You can't tell him to go out there and
I'm
spray
not
those things
going
away.
anywhere near that. Not going anywhere near that, telling him what to do whatsoever. Even implying it. That won't happen. All right.
Additionally, in communications, do the chairs feel it's important, or do you think it's worthwhile if they email minutes to their meeting directly to the directors instead of just to liaison? Do you think it's worth doing that?
Yes. I think that just improves communications and helps everyone.
I mean, the directors, at least they would have the information. If they want to read it, they can look at it. That's fine, but at least it's provided to them. Because it seems like this when it's posted, when the directors get to see it. And I'm wondering if that's something that we should think about, that you have the minutes to your meeting, those directors that find that all. You know, and they can have the opportunity to see what happened at your meeting every month, not just the liaison, but everybody on it. I'd like to get the feedback from what the committee chairs think about it. Is it worthwhile doing that?
I thought that was being posted someplace, wasn't it?
The problem is, it's posted on the website. The problem is for a director to constantly look. The committees meet staggered throughout the month. You don't know when they'll be posted. You don't know when they're approved. You don't know. So for a director to constantly check 13 committees, it's very time consuming. Yep. Other than just get it right in his box when it's there, and he or she can read it.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
After they're approved, or when they're written?
No, after they're approved. After they're approved, and
we decided to approve ours mail right away, so they would get posted. So it's so easy to
you did that.
Just add that email address.
They're going to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. It made it much easier. And then you still remember what happened.
You okay with that point?
Stop. Is that okay? Not okay?
I think there's a bit of discretion because take my committee, which got skewered more than once, where we were talking about some things that were controversial. When we vote on it and say it's good to hear, from that point to the time those minutes hit the website and the director could get to on that website takes at least 2 weeks. Josh or Joe Reynolds is sitting in that meeting, they have it immediately. If we don't notify you immediately after that vote, you get blindsided. You hear about something that we voted on and approved that we intend to post according to the rules. But you hear about it before we do that by drafting the minutes and going through and reviewing them with the committee and approving. So I think that discretion on the part of the committee chair has to be, there's something that is potentially controversial, which is a judgment call, I think you guys should get emailed immediately. Because I don't think you should be hearing about it, from something around the corner. Now, whether or not you read it or not is up to you. But I think sending it is up to us.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, the board liaison
right.
help with that too.
I was going to add that because that is a concern that I had because that has happened in our meeting, but the liaison is right there, and I and spoke to the liaison and said, hey, this is going to be something to bring forward. But I totally agree with what you're saying, and anything else to add to that? I would think the liaison, but if there's something else that's done, definitely because I've seen that situation before.
What exactly with the liaison?
So what happened in a situation where he's saying, let's say something comes up in budget finance, so something comes out that is kind of serious or something nobody's thought about or whatever, just in conversation or something comes up. You have the newspaper there. You have mentioned Joe Reynolds. He has where they then know about it, and he's saying they can communicate that before the board. My first impression when that happened was I spoke to the liaison. I said, this is an issue. But I also agree with what he's saying if you can do something else. But that's what I thought it would be liaison.
This is going to be the best part of this meeting. How do you keep Joe around?
I don't know if he knows it, what my calendar is. But, I'm trying to think if he has ever been there. I know Josh is there a lot, and as well as Tom. That is funny, though. I don't think I haven't
Mike, do you have a staff person that all your?
Pretty much so, yeah. Jerry V.
Okay.
And we know you do, right? Usually, you say.
We call someone in depending upon what subject.
I mean, Pudge, Joe, and
whoever.
Well, the last meeting
Yes.
we had Jerry Lewis.
He's very happy to come. We ask him, or at least give us a little bit of time, and almost anybody that we call in for a subject.
That's another case where I think Les does it once in a while, but it's important for him to keep up on what's the latest thing in. He's advising the board to do something already happened.
I think the one suggestion I would have wrap up the organization staff presence. Whatever is decided, I think it's important to have the conversation with the acting general manager. Because the GM has the operational responsibility on a day-to-day basis.
Yep.
And he is in charge of basic priority for set action. Two, whenever you have staff interacting with the committee, there is always a potential risk of dilution of those priorities and perhaps the set. So I believe it's very important to really get, because I can see the benefit of both approaches, whether it's on a regular basis or as needed. But if such interaction takes place with staff in the GM, you want to define the rules of engagement, and perhaps first thing that probably makes a lot of sense is for the department head to make a presentation to your say, here's our near-term, mid-term priorities for all the issues we're trying to solve, and the board is here to provide guidance, as for the solution. This is your focus, and then everybody knows what needs to be done. I believe getting GM's input is very, very necessary.
Okay, your committee's resolutions. Your respective resolutions need updating or any changes. I guess I should go around each individual one. Really know if
I could see a potential to change ours or update it, but I'd really like, we've got got new committee members, and after we get, some speed up in the committee and really kind of hash that out a little bit, then we come back and make sense. I don't have anything, scripted right now that I think's worth bringing up, but I'd like to, discuss it in the committee, have them be aware of what's down there to begin with, because no one is, and see what changes might make sense.
I don't know of anything that's critical right now that needs to be changed, but I too would like to discuss it at a meeting, make sure that everybody get their thoughts and ideas, and if changes need to be made, we'll certainly do.
Just got reviewed last meeting. See it 2 years ago unless something comes up.
No, actually, I only still have one year.
No. We just did his resolution.
Oh, you're not right. Oh, really? Oh, okay.
That's why I didn't send you emails back. You've been getting them, haven't you?
No.
Are you kidding me?
Sure, you.
I complained that you hadn't returned my email.
You might have a lot to say on that.
Well, we have not gotten to the point of drafting yet, but we do want to make some changes in MO6, and particularly attachment A. We'll be meeting this Friday.
Where with their work on with MO6.
Yes. Steve has exchanged emails with Marty on that.
Oh, they have.
I'm like, prepared to talk about it now? No, but
I just want to make sure that, it's a huge resource.
In fact, I'd forgotten it.
June 18th.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Where is it?
A small conference room in the building.
Behind the lobby.
And we met on September 13th. We passed out resolution 13, for purpose and functions. And I would think that every year we should do this just to make sure committee members are clear on what our purpose is and our functions. Our committee feels that the way this is written serves our committee well. So we don't need any changes. We don't make any recommendations for changes. But I think it's helpful to your committees where stuff. Yeah.
Tim just went, we discussed, when I received your email, Tom, when you received the email on this type of meeting, I put it on the agenda, budget finance. Everybody was good on both points. We're okay on our resolution, and we do review each year. Great. Everybody's awesome. Kat?
We the last couple of meetings we've been missing quite a few people on our committee for various reasons, and I don't believe that there's any changes, but I would like also to have the option of being able to pull them in and get their opinions if we bring it to you.
No, at any time.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't have to be just
okay,
at
great.
this meeting to discuss it, but I would like you to review with your committee.
Absolutely.
And if there's any suggestions or changes or amendments, please let us know.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Frank, anything?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we'll be discussing some pretty substantial changes.
Okay. Okay, great.
To your resolution?
And I agree. I think we have to go over it at least once a year because there's new people coming in all the time and it doesn't always get done.
Right. Good. Okay. Boy. Done. How you like it?
Good.
Your resolution.
I was sitting here about ready to fall out of my chair. I was thinking about falling out of this work out here. It comes my
Job security.
Anything on our committee is now off the shelf. But, I know Steve's not on the list here. How come that? Oh. Okay. Do we have any other surprises? Nope.
Well, the golf range process.
I've got your email.
Hopefully the next meeting.
That's why.
Well,
you fell off the list.
I think we're okay with our resolution. We've kind of talked about the things that we wanted to add with regard to staff liaison. As far as this, it's actually pretty reasonable. I think going through it every year is valuable. One of the things that the communications committee talked about is developing some sort of committee orientation where you can go through this kind of stuff every year and you can go through it. Well, we've talked about this a little bit too, but an orientation feature.
Is that something that you would want to do once a year after the new?
Well, we've talked about it in a couple different capacities, and you hit on it a little bit when you talked about the committee chairs getting together like this. We've talked about it in a couple of one time, like around election time after new board is in place, do a session where you go through how to communicate, what your resolutions are, and what the expectations are, and do that once a year, but then have other roundtable type things where you have a better idea of what everybody's challenges are.
So do you think that would be incorporated in the Executive Advisory Council meeting?
I think so. And
in orientation?
Yeah, I think that would.
For all new chairs?
That would be good.
Okay.
That would be very good. And it wouldn't have to be long.
Right. No, I think that's one of the things that's actually we want to talk about later on, how we can improve Executive Advisory Council value and performance, and that would be something right we can incorporate.
Absolutely. And the committee would help that. We have so many ideas written down about it.
Okay, great. Okay. I'd like feedback from both chairs if there's any additional ideas, concerns, or suggestions that they to they do.
I can't think of anything offhand.
Les may be able to arrange that for you.
Possibly. I don't know really where you want to go with this. There's no. The only concern, the biggest concern that our committee has right now, and a lot of the members are very upset about it, and we've never, I don't know, we've talked about it, but I don't know where it is right now. But one of the older members of our committee, who is not any longer on the sent everyone an email in which he very plainly said that he is a member of Brett's Yacht Club work group and is making suggestions on the yacht. There's nothing wrong with that, I suppose, but it sort of negates our value. And if either is there a work group or is there a yacht club or a clubs committee? That's the question that most of them have.
Well, I think the GM, when he wants expert advice on some information, he has to write outside the group and bring in people that he may want to have as advisors to give him some information. I don't know if that would usurp your committees.
Well, neither do members of the committee know the answer to that. If it can be resolved in some way, that will certainly help us.
Anything else?
No.
Just one thing. We have the resolution for the elections committee. 5 people beyond the committee. There's only 3 of us right now, and I'm new enough to the community. I don't know where to recruit other people. If there's help that can be offered through communication or some other way to
what do you think?
Recruit a couple more people.
I could probably find people for you.
We would welcome that.
Normally, I think Teresa posted on the website.
Okay. Email last weekly.
Josh, can you do another highlight?
Is there any suggestions that you
Committee call?
I mean, in that regard, how are we reaching out any more than what we're doing as far as communicating with some of these committees?
Michelle said online. I know I went to my people I work with and I live around me, and that's how. I mean, I had 3 and now I have 7, so some progress.
Wow, that worked. That's really good.
Yeah.
Just put it on TV.
I don't know. Does anybody else have suggestions in that
they
regard?
had
How
on
we
TV
can more, or is there any better method we can use to get on other than what we're trying?
You could announce it at the beginning of a board meeting or make your presentation. It gets on television.
That's not a question that I have at all, because we have we got a long list of people that asked about that, and I have an application actually to be presented at the next board meeting that would finalize our minutes.
Just accept one of the applications, fill it out, put it in relations at the top. tell them what the date is.
I mean, when I read the article about this, I mentioned its members. Anybody else? I make a note of that.
Marine Advisory could use another too.
Marine Advisory.
That's right.
I was just reading the Bayside Gazette or something, and I saw a long list of. I was just reading it today. Was it in the Bayside Gazette? Okay, I thought so.
Oh, nobody reads that.
Nobody?
I'm kidding. Here's the guy that wrote it.
Thanks, Marty.
All right, so maybe something in the newspaper and make an announcement. Hopefully, we'll see what we can do with that. If you know any neighbors, just advice and stuff like that. Right.
Pickleball.
Right.
Yeah.
I've been a property owner since 1970. And seen a lot of changes here, most of it. It bothers me tremendously when I pick up that gentleman's newspaper and I see one of our committees or social groups here having a luncheon on a property outside of Ocean Heights. I attended our tennis luncheon this year in October. There was 50 of us and we had lunch at tables, and that just bothers me. Where I'm going is we probably have 20 different clubs and social groups. We should come up with some type of menu, which we're not interested in making profit. We're doing this to give back to our people in our community. And their luncheon should be up on that second floor of that yacht club. And I'm to the point that I don't even care if we lose a little money.
We're good at it.
Okay, let me finish, please. We keep talking about it. Got to turn things around. Yeah. And I agree with that. I think it's a number one priority. One of the ways you do that is you get all these different clubs and organizations that have luncheons here. We've got to have a function in the spring. Pickleball, platform, tennis together. All three groups upstairs together. Just so people start meeting each other, talking to each other, and have one racket facility instead of these three groups being separate groups. I just think if we start doing that, it would be tremendous dividends as far as public relations.
I think they need facility. I think that's a big part of why clubs go elsewhere. Is there's a flat fee associated that may not find it. Like I remember sometimes it was last year, I think, and I'm trying to remember which club it was trying to do it. It was a golf club. But the long story short, they ended up at Lighthouse Sound.
Right. Well, I think the reason why is because yacht club is closed on the day they're doing it. They're doing it tomorrow on Tuesday. The yacht club is closed.
They should open.
I don't know. I'm just saying it's on the day that the yacht club is not open. Now, if there's anything else behind it, I don't know.
We have the resources here to get that done.
It's not about this committee or that committee, this group, that group. We all live here.
This is a whole different special format for these service groups and communities. Taylor's, they gave us a menu. You had 4 choices, and your bill was $14. And that included activity. And I just sat there with many other tennis people and said, this should be done. Yeah, we shouldn't be doing it.
Something for clubs committee to take on as an idea. How can maybe a yacht club put together a program that's really very attractive to our social clubs?
And we have a list of all of these clubs. We have to get that, all of those people, by December or January. So there's plenty of functions in the spring, summer, fall.
But is it the case that there's a facilities fee and what's the size of it?
Do you know that's what they do?
I don't know. I've heard of what the fee, that there is a fee. I don't know what the fee is.
Yeah, I can ask my mom.
We have a luncheon every year for our foundation or golf. After our golf tour, we're never charged any facility.
That's right. I believe the facility, that's an artifact of past. I'm speaking a little bit out of turn, but I believe that's true. I mean, I've heard this. So that's not the issue. The other issue is cost. There are lower costs. I do believe we have these membership. And I tell you my history going way, way back. I go Les goes back as far as that. And do you remember the report they did on the yacht club? And one of the main complaints was they were all different clubs, all discounts that were getting. Probably still have reports.
But I firmly believe that you may have to take one step backwards, gain 2 or 3 steps by getting those people back to their yacht club.
We have to spend money.
That's true. And yet, on the other hand, I'm going to argue back at it, that there are, I mean, again, this is back against no particular, I criticize the people that I'm talking about. But I mean, there are people that will leave our facility, get a half buck over beer. I mean, I know this.
Yeah, I know a few of them.
This is to be true. and you know, how much do we have to bend over for that? Really? I mean, come on. I mean, every money we've spent, everything we're trying to do. You know, look, there are plenty of problems and having startup problems, and it's hardly perfect. But at the same time, I think we should try. I think, right, we should try. But I think there's a point you can't go much further. And you can't change people's outlook on it. Anyway, that's just another point.
But, you know, to your point, Dave, I have a property out in Arizona, and the community association and the developer there have made it an express point. The thing that they call Hacienda del Lago, which is the golf clubhouse and restaurant, will be the focal point for the community gatherings. And, okay, it's, you know, I don't know that it's in a firm resolution and fiat, but that is the driving force. That place will be the center of the community. And I don't sense that that's the case in this community with our facility, number one. Number two, it's just hard. I mean, you know, we have a lot of smart people in the community. And I've been to every damn place this side of the ocean, not in the ocean, for luncheons, banquets, get-togethers, wakes. What I don't understand is how Fager, who's a profit organization, or Sunset Grill as a profit organization, or Lighthouse Sound as a profit organization, can undercut our yacht club. And we're losing money hand over fist. It just doesn't make sense. And I think that that's as much of a communications issue as an economics issue, because people look at it and they say, this doesn't make sense. And that causes a lot of problems. And
it's a management. You keep trying to get better. You keep trying to get better.
Are we, in fact, losing money hand over fist?
Well, define. We're losing money. We are losing.
Are you sure you want me to do this, look into this? Because I am definitely an amenity guy, not a business guy.
I know you are, Les. And I am too.
And the building was put there for the use of Ocean Pines citizens. No.
I'll show you. I got the folder with me in my car. It said we'll make money, sell all this catering. Wonderful. Beautiful. Had worst year we've had 12 years now.
No.
That's just fact.
My proposal is also based on economics. I think economically, turn out long run be a very effective new approach.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to talk. We talk about beer at Taylor's and beer at. You're right. I see people going. I remember. The ambience of yacht. That might cost you. I understand that. I would rather have.
Marty, I can't hear what you're saying.
But on the same respect, I agree with you. I totally understand. But I would also like to see, and I would always like to see Ocean Pine and try to get everyone. I understand that it might cost 50 cents more for the ambulance if you place that. It's right on the water versus Taylor's. And I'd even turn grill. I'd rather go with the golf course. In the same respect, I would like to try to see get Ocean Pine's people to as much as possible. But hopefully they understand too that it might cost a little more for the ambulance. Just on that.
I can say Brett's working real hard.
Yeah.
I believe he's kind of putting his money where his mouth is.
I totally
Every time I've been there, he's been.
Yeah. So just with that, but as far as on what your question, Tom, on the Budget and Finance Committee, good. Everybody said find a communication, transparency. Budget and Finance Committee right now.
All right, thank you. Got it.
I will say that we also are very happy with the communications. In the past, it was a frustration of mine that I would email and not get an email response. And that was in the past. And doesn't affect anybody here. So I'm hoping that that doesn't, if I email somebody and I know everybody's busy, I would hope for a response back to us as a committee. But we are very happy right now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We've had no recent problem.
Jenny, I just had one question for you because I lack imagination, but I'd love to see a list of things that you could do for communications because I'm trying to think of, I'm not sure I have a real good handle. So if we could get a list of specifics, I know that's asking a lot, but is that a possibility of just suggestions that help?
Sure, if I can help.
I would love to see that, yeah.
And check with it. C11. Asked me about all the signatures on it, final vote. Where it's a joke, right? This is the hardest thing I've ever done, is get a piece of paper typed. You were that. No, I did. J-Bob? You were going to, I was not to direct Michelle, which would have taken me about 1 second to walk by her desk, and she would have done it.
I thought we had that conversation.
Yeah, you were going to call her.
You said, can I do it? And I said, yeah, my blessing.
Is that what happened? Yeah, I fell asleep. I'll take care of it in the morning. Actually, I made it do. Then put it in his box. He can sign it. I got to sign it. And whoever else signs it.
All right, good. You'll straighten that out.
Glad I lost that one. You caught me.
You forgot I told you.
I forgot. Where did you tell me? 11 o'clock at night, stacked over
the dentist's office.
Talking about. Oh, my email.
Now you remember?
Yes, I do.
Were you on your drug smart?
That might have been happy stuff, right? But the next time you're losing front too. I'm sure Dennis is a really good friend.
Oh no. How about you?
I think I exhausted my suggestions. We're good.
Tom, I don't know if this would work for the community. But if we're looking for people for the committees, what if we had an evening where the committee chairs were here and maybe some of the committee members and anybody that was interested in a committee come up and meet and talk with them?
Social.
Yeah, social.
Now we got the uproar.
That's the first thing that came to mind. Open bar.
Marty got his wish. All right, last. Performance of the Executive Advisory Council. How can we improve value reports? And one of them is to add an orientation for the new chair right after the election. That's one.
Social might be good.
Social. So a social at the meeting.
Although it's not bad.
Yeah.
Any other suggestions?
Yeah, it would be good if your wife made cookies and we had them here for.
Oh,
yeah,
want cookies too.
Come on, Bill.
Any other suggestions for this advisory council? How we make it better for?
Does it call for it once a year or time?
Doesn't call for any particular time. From what I see in the resolution, it just gets called by the chair people can call the meeting if they so wish for the president.
I don't know whether or not what the resolution says, or maybe it's changed, but it was 2 times a year. Specifically 2 times a year.
Is the second one last?
Meetings of the council may be called by the chairperson or by written request of the majority of the council members. That's what it says for meetings in the resolution.
That's mid-year
So you guys
progress
can call
seems like a good idea.
What's that?
I think mid-year
Mid-year?
coming back
Well,
together.
definitely
and
after the election.
right.
Because
then,
you have new chairs being appointed, you have new board members. So I think, right after the election, maybe October. This year was.
Well, you do the fall executive council, and we also do a spring one.
Well, that's what you have.
Right.
It doesn't call for that resolution. I'm just saying. You could have 4.
Yeah. But the fall would catch
Be
you
this
up
one, yeah.
for the
Right.
because of the election and all that. By the time everything's ironed out as far as liaisons and
Definitely, should
them
definitely
getting
be
there.
after the election, and maybe if the chairs want to have one on that they suggest that as well.
And that would be your mid-year.
And maybe from communications perspective, it seems more valuable. Perhaps I don't know.
What's that? The spring?
Just meeting in general, having the opportunity to sit down with other committee chairs has seemed most helpful. This is the most people I've seen in one room in 2 years. I think that's very valuable.
And I'm hoping that they take advantage of what you know.
Because
you can help half the committees here by promoting what they want to promote.
Right. But that's why I'm saying it'd be nice to see you again in 6 months and see how you're doing and what I can.
Okay. Good suggestion.
One observation, and just thinking out loud, but on the question of how to improve the communications and the Executive Advisory Council itself, how valuable do you think it would be to consider recording some and then them on our channel set, so that the membership that doesn't have an understanding of what's going on or doesn't have the time to attend, it's in a way of promoting the work that the committees do. That's number one. Number two, kind of pushing the information out. And number three, it's about what I happen to be liaison with the communications committee. One of the things that the committee discussed is how do we improve the image of the show. Quite often there's a lot of negative remarks, press, learned that national elections. There's been a lot of negative on that, but by capturing some of the committee meetings and having that kind of broadcast, hopefully will create a more positive image of what's going on. Members are going to address the issues with parks, other assets and resources. Sometimes, I know when I attend meetings, even when I was just a homeowner, I felt good about this and understanding what's going on. There's a lot of work in behalf of the members that sign up to do this. A lot of people don't really understand. I know the comprehensive plan committee has probably been hours and hours the work that they had to undertake, and all of you individually and your members. So I think this is something that's feasible in terms of the cost, the equipment. But this is something the chairs and the members would love.
Does anyone watch Channel 7?
I do.
You do?
I'm not sure.
I watch meetings.
Yeah. I'm not sure I would want
I don't watch
our committee conversation because we're brainstorming about things and talking about how do we get people at annual meeting or transparency in the election process, those kind. And I don't want to put stuff out there and have people pick it up and rumors start spreading all over the place that election's going to.
I think it would really stifle conversation, freewheeling conversation.
Right.
I was invited to a racket advisory committee meeting at some. Thank God that was not televised.
But you were talking about this meeting, not all the.
No. Yeah, this, but also if committees want to record it and broadcast that's you have media attending the meetings anyway.
Well,
quite often it's
that's
written
true,
out.
and we can't help that. But on the other hand,
We have public meetings. People come to any committee meeting.
And they can come to the meeting.
Right. They want.
Yes, they want.
They don't.
Kathy.
We have an excellent committee. We work well together. We always have. We don't always see eye to eye, but we are good together. I mean, that's a good thing. And we say a lot.
Yeah.
Because we work a lot.
Right.
And just like the gentleman over here said, it could be really important as we work through, okay, some of the ideas and what needs to happen. So I'd be really hesitant to bring that in.
And for us, primarily the number one reason that wouldn't want to televise is sitting right here. He's unpopular enough in this community. If people really know what he was thinking all the time. All right.
Anyone have anything else? Right?
No, I love it.
Thank you
so much.
One tiny little, this is not a big thing, and maybe it's just, but I'm used to these meetings. I've been to a lot of them, and in many of them, each committee used to just go over what they had done during the year, and that's sort of what I was expecting.
It's not.
This agenda is a good one, and I like it. I would like to have had it a week. That's the only suggestion I had.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I was hoping to get more suggestions from chairs, so I waited a little, and I wanted to.
Well, it's a good idea. I like the agenda, but
see the reason why I wasn't in favor of everyone sitting around telling us what they've done or what's the newest thing is because it's all posted in minutes.
Yes.
And then there's the year-end report in October, which every committee hands in. And, I mean, that's available for us. So I thought this would be a little bit more something that you would have more concern and try to get some help from the board.
And I agree with you. It's a good.
Okay. Thank you. We good? Yeah. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you, Tom.
By the way, pickleball was invented in 1965.
Heard of it.
On the island of Washington.
Earlier.